Mama, Mama, can you bring my organite? Namaste. I'm Ezichiade. This is the Golden Circle Movement Channel. So, I have a secret. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Right now, I'm waiting for my twin flame to bring my organite. I took it off for reasons that are connected to my secret, and we'll discuss that. But first of all, how are we doing here today? This is day 23 since fusion surgery, L3 through S1, lumbar fusion. So, just to catch you up on a few things, I went in on June 23rd, 2023, and yeah, the surgery. Oh, what happened to your shoe?
They're done.
Huh? Oh, it can't.
I took a step right now and it poked right through.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, man, fuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mama. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. All right.
Okay. Enjoy.
You saw that. You saw that. We live. Okay. So, there we go. Now, I'm back in business. So, for those of you who do not know, that was my twin flame, Quetzali. Now, she's part of my secret, if you will. So, as I was saying, day 23, I went in on the 23rd of June, 2023, and the operation was a great success. Lasted about 4 or 5 hours. He put 8 placements, 8 screws in 4 vertebrae, including my SI, which is right between your the pelvic bones. So those 4 are fused together. They remove the disc, put in some bone graft material, cadaver bone at that. And I've been thinking about Elvis songs ever since that day. So, yeah, I've been walking. I walked right away about 2 hours after the surgery. And then I went home on the 25th. So I was only in there for 3 days. In there, did the procedure, rested 2 days, came on home. And so after that, I did experience some discomfort because your bowel slows down because of the anesthesia. So that gave me a lot of backup. And so I had to drink a lot of Epsom salt and water to release that. Epsom salt with water is a powerful cleansing laxative. It's a flush, if you will. It's just like a radiator flush in that it doesn't cause any peristalsis. It doesn't cause the bowel to, at least not too hard. It moves particles out of the bowel gently, I guess you could say. But you will want to stay home if you choose to engage in such a cleansing flush. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. None of this is medical advice. This is just my experience. If you choose to follow something that I have, uh, used, then that is your choice. Now, so we know that you definitely want to keep your bowel as cleansed as possible if you're having fusion surgery. And especially after the fusion surgery, you want to have your bowel cleansed. So then I walked some more. I walked, And now I'm able to walk all the way around the block. Okay. I might even try 2 blocks today. We'll see how I feel. Once I tell you my secret, you'll understand why I might not. Okay. So, uh, today was a milestone, but that's not the secret. Today was a milestone because I got in the vehicle and drove. Now, I know this is 3 weeks, and generally they like you to wait until 4 weeks before you drive, but it depends on how you feel, uh, the health of the individual. Because I will tell you, there are times where I don't feel uh, that mobile. My legs might bother me. They might feel a little bit of the neuropathy, or I should say more, because I'm always feeling the neuropathy at this point, um, especially since the surgery, because now I have all this new energy shooting down those meridians. So I'm just going to put this over here. And yeah, so that was a milestone. I didn't drive very far. I only drove up the street and back. But the fact that I was able to get into the vehicle, okay, and I have an older vehicle that doesn't have that pull adjustment or handle to help you get into the vehicle. I don't have that on the driver's side. So you have to hold on to the steering wheel. I use the cane also if I need to brace myself to get up, to turn around and get in. But other than that, once I was in, I was able to drive normally. Again, I didn't go very far, so we're not going to talk about that. But in any case, I do intend to maybe go further. Once I have physical therapy, it is a little bit more of a drive. So, and I do intend to drive there. So that's something to think about, something to look forward to, getting some degree of my mobility back. So I know you want to know about my secret. Well, when you have fusion surgery, there is 3 main things that you cannot do. We call it BLT, but really it means no bending, no lifting, and no twisting. That means no strenuous activity, no hard work, really. So, uh, you know, before the surgery, you know, we didn't know how it would turn out. You know, even though it's a pretty common operation, I'm 60. Things can go wrong. Mm, you can, when they do the laminectomy and they pull that section of bone away, revealing the spinal cord and the branches that have the stenosis that gives me the pain in my legs. When they remove that bone, it could tear the dura, the, the covering for the spinal cord. If there's scar tissue, it could tear the nerves and you would be paralyzed in that area, down the legs or whatever. Um, it could also happen that you could bleed during the surgery. This is why they had me uh, come to the hospital the day before and get tight matched in case it was necessary for a blood transfusion. So so all of those things exist. You could have a stroke. You could have a heart attack. You could die. You could bleed out on the table. So we didn't know. I mean, it's good to be prepared. And, if you are prepared for your final hurrah, if you are prepared to meet your maker, if you have handled your final request, I'd like to hear trust, family trust, if you have taken care of those matters. Type family trust in the comments. Now, we're getting to my secret. You see, before the surgery, Quetzali and I engaged in adult activities. We had sex. Of course, we like to do that. But of course, we also didn't know if this might be our last embrace, as it were. So here we are after the surgery. I'm walking. I'm doing pretty good. No BLT, no bending, lifting, or twisting. But, okay, I did drive a little early, 23 days, and I'm driving. So that's pretty good. 3 weeks and 2 days, and I'm driving. Nice. Okay. Um, we had sex. Yeah. Quetzali and I engaged in some more adult activities. Now, here is the thing about that. Um, I will admit, at some point, I did get a little tired towards the end. My back, my legs, what have you. So this is for those who are having fusion in the future. This is for those who have had fusion and want to understand what are the limitations. I can only tell you from the male perspective. With myself seated, that can work. Uh, you know, uh, doggy style, that can work. I don't know too much else that might, I don't know if there's too many other positions that might be safe. Now, this is adult conversation. If you're not an adult, no, you've probably already heard all of this that I'm telling you. But the point here is this. Um, it's important not to overdo it as you are recovering, healing from fusion. It's important not to overdo it. Do what's comfortable, and you must abstain if you feel you want to uh, do things that might cause you to twist or bend improperly. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So I would say act with good judgment. That's always the best way. If you act with good judgment, then you can't go wrong. I can't believe I've been sitting here all this time and I'm not barefoot. We need to ground. This is an important healing factor. Again, I'm not a medical professional and this is not medical advice. However, it is scientifically proven that when you stand with your feet on the earth, your body picks up the charge of the earth. This charge is also transferred to your red blood cells. Now, in the case of lumbar fusion, or really any surgery, because the problem of clotting after causing other complications is always something to consider. When you put your feet on the earth and your body takes up that charge, then your blood cells are all charged the same negative charge. So they repulse each other, they repel each other, they will not clot, you see. So this is something to consider when having fusion surgery. If you feel up to it, get outside, get on the grass, get on the earth. If you are on the earth, it needs to have some moisture. It can't be dry, cracked, dusty earth. It needs to be moist. Now, you can moisten it, you can wet it yourself, or you can stand in the mossy area where it's more moisture. If you are on the grass and the grass is cool, moist, then you will find that charge. You'll find it anyway, even if you stand on the dry earth. But if you want to get the most uh, uh, benefit from grounding, those are the parameters. Moist earth, at least living things on the earth, like moss, grass, what have you. Those things have the charge. So that is an important healing factor because uh, if you clot at the wound site, small clots can travel through the bloodstream and land on your brain or in your lungs or other places like your eyes, places that you don't want blood clots. So, uh, yes, no, hold on, wait. Today, yeah, I did do it today. Today was my last day of enoxaparin, a Lovenox product, which is a injectable blood thinner, so that is definitely an important healing factor, grounding, and being to take your blood thinners. If that is prescribed to you, of course, like I said, this is not my decision. I'm not a medical professional. But if they do offer that, make sure you're up with it. Now, I'll give you another important hint. Water. So, when I was in the hospital, right after the surgery, um, I really was not able to get around too much because I had this tube in my back and a container that was filling up with what looked like blood, dark blood at that. And so I was told this is a drain. This would have accumulated as a swollen area in my back had it not drained. In fact, the day of the surgery, the 2 days after that, those 3 days I had that drain and it filled up at least 4 times. That drain holds 400 milliliters. So that's quite a bit of fluid to lose, which means you become very, very dehydrated. The body must replenish the water it is losing through that fluidic drain. So you must drink lots of water. Drink lots of water while you're in the hospital. They usually give you a big cup, bendable straw. Just keep sipping it. Keep just little sips. But if you keep sipping, keep sipping, keep sipping, the inflammation will leave through your urine. That's good to know. Because by it leaving through the urine, then it reduces the inflammation naturally. In fact, my inflammation was released so well while I was in the hospital. They removed my drain on the second day. So the third day, I just relied on drinking, well, sipping, and evacuation. So after you are home, you must drink fluids. I brought my cup home from the hospital. I drink about, excuse me, about 3 or 4 of these a day. Which is also another important healing factor for recovering from fusion surgery. See, if you don't drink enough water, I'm not talking about soda, I'm not talking about juice, I'm not talking about anything else, but water. If you're going to drink water, you should drink distilled water. We can talk about that another for various reasons, but we'll talk about that another time. I have some videos in a playlist. I'll try to link that for the replay. But yeah, you should drink lots of water in order to heal because you want that swelling to go away. You want all of that inflammation. That inflammation is there to capture any scar tissue that might, before it can even happen, and just take it away. You don't want scar tissue to build up around those new incisions, okay? You don't want, I mean, it will for the incision, but inside you don't want scar tissue around the nerve bundles that were formerly in experiencing the lateral stenosis. You want those bundles free so that they can return the energy down the legs. At least that's the theory. We'll see if that actually happens. Meanwhile, you must drink water. I went a day where I didn't drink a whole lot of water, and it the inflammation began to accumulate. It took at least a good 6 hours of me drinking for that to stabilize. So as a result of that, yeah, I keep my cup near me and I keep drinking water. So now you know my secret. Quetzali and I had sex. Ooh. On the 23rd day. Now, whether or not this will be something that you do, I certainly wouldn't recommend that you do that. But what you do is your business. How you feel is up to you. I know the doctors, medical professionals, physical therapists, they give us a lot of guidance. And this is true. We should take it. However, it is also true, gotta readjust, that are in you are responsible for your healing. The doctor is not the one responsible for your healing. The doctor is responsible for the operation, for the procedure. The nurses are responsible for the patient and making sure the patient is comfortable, cared for, and uh, well fed, of course, but also make sure that the patient has the medications in a timely manner, what have you, uh, uh, whatever needs to be attended. Then, of course, Your aftercare, your home care. Quetzali is my aftercare. My family is my aftercare. And many of you are my aftercare. So I love that. Um, they are not responsible for your healing. You are responsible for your healing. Take your meds. If you're prescribed medicine for pain, if it is necessary, take it. If it is not, try to avoid it. It will damage your liver. Milk thistle is a good counter for liver damage caused by medicines and vitamins. So, again, this is not medical advice. This is just knowledge that I have acquired and I am sharing it. So, you are responsible for your healing, getting proper rest. Go to sleep. This is when your body will heal. So, you must rest, you must sleep, and get up. Don't just lay there, especially laying there in just one position. You want to move. You must stay active in order for not only the blood to flow naturally through the body, but also so that it doesn't pool and accumulate around those nerve bundles where you just had the operation. So, you want to walk. There's going to be times where you don't want to walk, where it actually might bother you to walk, but you need to walk. You need to sit up in a straight back chair, and then you also need to get up from that chair and to walk. Then you can lay down. Then you sit up. Then you walk. You can lay down. And this is pretty much what life will be like after fusion surgery. Okay? It is also important, as a side note, to avoid sugar. I have been without sugar now for the last 7 days. And I will tell you something. Without sugar, my inflammation went almost all the way down. Your healing factor will increase if you avoid smoking cigarettes, if you avoid sugar, and drink lots of water. Now, again, this is not medical advice, but this is food for thought if you want to get better faster. Along with water and at least less sugar. I would say no sugar, zero sugar is the best. But you must eat green and leafy vegetables. Green and leafy vegetables will give you the calcium you need to help with the healing of the bone. The calcium, the calcium that you need to heal, to raise your healing factor. All right. Just checking to see if we have new people on. So, green leafy vegetables and protein. Now, what kind of protein is the best protein for healing from fusion? I can't tell you if it's right or if it's wrong, but you will need red meat. It doesn't have to be raw, it just needs to be meat. Red meat will give you what you need for your liver and for your healing. Okay? So those two particular things, green leafy vegetables and red meat, those things will help you heal faster. So now you know my secret. If you don't know my secret, you're going to have to listen to it on the replay. But nevertheless, um, take it at your own pace. Go slow. Uh, Use your cane, your walking aids. You must drink lots of water daily, constantly, or else you will not heal as fast as you would like. It is also important to stay active, to keep moving, to sit upright, to lay down and log roll properly. It's important that you take responsibility for your healing. If you have thoughts, ideas, comments, I'd like to hear them below. Make sure you like this video, share it with others, subscribe. This will allow you to know when future videos are coming up. We will be talking about some other things like Abraham Hicks, maybe some Billy Carson, a few other little things that we have planned down the road. Thank you for your participation. Namaste.